Hello, on this video I'm going to show you how to read and write to a file using Python. When you open a file, you have options that you can use. One of them is the letter R, A, W, X, or RB or WB. So each mode will have a different behavior. So for example, if you use the R mode, then it tries to open the file, but if the file doesn't exist, it throws you an error. If you use mode A, and if it doesn't find the file, it creates a new one. To write to a file, if you use the W, and if the file exists, then you overwrite the file. In other words, you lose everything you currently have in the file. And if the file is not there, you create a new one for you. And then the exclusive, meaning it will not overwrite. If the file exists, it will throw an error. And if it doesn't exist, it will create a new one for you. And then you have the RB for read binary. That's for pictures, PDF, executables, and everything else. And then the WB, which is write binary, also for pictures, executable, everything else. All right, so let's write some code. All right, so in order to open a file, you need two things. One is the file name or the file path. In my case, I'm just going to give it a name, test.txt. And then you also need the mode. The mode is whatever you're going to use to read or write in the file. So the mode I'm going to use for now is the read. So in other words, I want to read a file named test.txt. Now, where is this file located? So this file needs to be located on the same place that this code lives, on the same folder. Now, later in this video, I'm going to show you how to choose a different path for the file. But for now, this file needs to be on the same place as this code is located. So I already create a test.txt file there. So we're going to try to open this file and then read the contents of this file. I'm going to create a file handler, which is file equals open, and then I'm going to pass the file name together with the modes. So this thing here opens the file, and then every time you open the file, you need to close the file. So file.close for you to close the file. So you must do these two steps here every time. And then within these two lines of code, you actually read the file. So data equals file.read, and that will get me all the contents of the file. And then I'm going to print the data that I read from the file just to see if I'm actually getting the contents of the file. And yes, this is the file and this is the contents that I read on the code. So this works just as fine, but this is not the preferred method of writing Python code to read from a file. The preferred way to read from a file is to use with open the file as file. So this is the preferred method. And then everything below needs to go one tab to the right. That means this block of code here belongs to this code here. And I do need a semicolon here. And then if I choose this option, I do not need to close the file anymore. So I can ignore that. So this is the preferred method. Both works. This is the preferred one. All right, so I'm going to run this one more time, and then it works just as fine. All right, but what if you do not want to read the entire file at once? Let's say you just want to read one line. So if you just want to read one line, so file dot read line, and that gives you only one line of the file. And instead of printing data, I need to print line. That gives you one line of the file. But obviously, one line only might not be what you want. So if you want to read more than one line, let's say you want to read all the lines, then I'm going to create another variable called lines. and then on the read lines with S here, that will read every single line of your file. Now this is a little ugly, so instead of just printing like that, you can create a for loop here. For lines in lines, and then print the line, and then you print every single line here. Now, once you read line by line, every end of the line will include a character for the end of the line. So Python will read the line, the end of the line here, the new line, and it will include on the line for you. So that's why when you print a line, it will print a extra new line here for you. So each line here, each L, has a new line character by the end. So if you want, you can strip that out. So to strip that, I'm gonna put dot strip, and that will remove the new line character from each line, and then you're not gonna have this extra line here when you work with that. So I'm gonna run one more time, and that removes the extra new line for you. All right, so let's take a look now on how to write to the file. So instead of putting the R modes, I'm gonna put the W mode. So now we're gonna write to the file. So the way I open is the same way, and then instead of reading something here, I'm gonna send some information to the file. So instead of file.readlines, I'm gonna do file.write. And then whatever message I put here goes to the file. Some cool text. So now if I run this program, remember, I'm using the writes, and if there is something in the file, it will overwrite it. So currently I have these 3 lines here in the file. So if I run this program now, it will write this text to the file. And if I open the same file, you're gonna see that the previous text is gone because you overwrote what was in the file. And you can write the file as many times as you want with some more text, and this thing will work just as fine. Now, the other problem here is when you send information to the file, you're not sending the new line. So in this case here, I do not have a new line between banana and some cool text. So because of that, when you write to the file, you need to put a new line. So now if I run this program, I am gonna have 2 separate lines. Now if I change here from W to A, and then I'm gonna just put some extra text here just to differentiate. And if I run again, now it did not overwrite the text, it just added more text to the file. All right, so what if you want to write multiple lines to the file? Very easy. So lines equals whatever your lines are. And then don't forget to end that line with a new character, with a new line character, comma, some more text, new line, comma, more stuff, and then new line again. And now if we run this program, we got a problem, writes lines. So we write lines, and then it works just as fine. If I come here, now I have more lines written in the file. Let's go back to the read here. Read from a file. And what I want to do here now is to read this file, and I'm going to delete the file from the directory. So when I run this program, then the file test.txt is not there. And because I'm using the R mode, then the R mode says if it exists, you open. If it doesn't exist, it will throw you an error. So I want to see this error right here. The file. And I'm going to pretend that the data is there and the file is there for now. But we know that the file is not there. So when I run this code, it gives me an error. It says right here in line 13, when I try to open the file doesn't exist. And then it throws me the error here. And the error is file not found error. Now, the problem with that is because this is a bad way to exit your code. Your code just crashed. We want an elegant way to stop the code from executing. So the way we want to do that, we want to try to catch a error, an exception, when a exception happens. So in order to do that, I'm going to use the try here. And then all the codes, I'm going to send one tab to the right. And then after that, I'm going to catch that exception. And to catch, you just need to use the word except. What kind of exception you want to catch here? It's very simple. I want to catch this exception. So this exception, the file not found error exception, when that happens, then I'm going to print a friendly message here. And then you can continue executing your program or try again or whatever it is that you want to do. But the whole point is when a problem happens, that you catch that problem. So now if I run this program, even though this file here does not exist on my directory, instead of throwing an error, it just gives the user a friendly message, and then you can deal with it, do whatever you want to do. So this is a good way to pick a file so you have less problems. Now, an even better way is to let the user pick the file that they want in a friendly way. So this here is just command line, but I'm going to write some code here to let the user pick whatever file they want. So for that, I'm going to import a couple of libraries. So from import tk from the tkinter.file dialog imports ask open file name. Ask open file name. Ask open file name. Yes. All right, so once you have the libraries, now let's use them. So the first thing I want to do here is to hide the root screen. So tk withdraw, and that will hide the root window. Now I want to actually get the file from the user. Path from the user, and for that I'm going to do a file path. I'm going to create a new, and then I'm going to call a function called ask open file name. The first parameter is the title of that window, and the title of that window for me is going to be select a file. And then the second parameter is actually the file types in which that window will let you see. It's like the filter. So file types equals, and then here I'm going to have two file types only. So the first file type is going to be text files, comma, and the filter for that is everything dots txt, and then the second parameter I'm going to have all files, and then for all files it's star dot star. So I'll show you in a second what this means here whenever I run this program. All right, so now I have the file path and I don't need this anymore. And then I have the mode. Now, we really do not need the try here, but I'm gonna leave the try anyway, just in case something happens and the file gets deleted between the user picks it and the program opens. Very, very low probability, but I'm gonna leave the try except anyway here. So now I have the file path, and then I'm gonna open the file path here. Then I'm gonna try to read, and this should work for us just fine. So let's run. So once I run this program, this dialog opens, and here's the filter that we wrote. So we wrote one filter for the text and all for all files. So I don't have any file here yet, so I'm gonna create a file. So new text test, and then I'm gonna create some text here, BBB, just some random text. And I'm gonna run the program again. Now I have the file here. So I'm gonna pick this file, either double click or click open. I'm gonna double click on mine. And then you pick the file and you open and then read the data and display the data here. So this is a better way for you to write the code and let the user pick the file. Now, obviously, if you're writing file for automation or a program that doesn't have any human interaction, then you would not use this, obviously. But otherwise, make it easier for the user to open the file. All right, so that's all for this video. Thanks for watching.